If nothing else, that'll make for good.
Yes.
It'll make for a good Foley clip somewhere down the road.
No.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on?
Episode 99 marches on. Welcome to part 3.
It continues forever.
It looks like maybe, just maybe, we're gonna start to see some new guidelines open up. I would hope. I mean,
Possibly. I just don't know
with some
anymore.
of the new numbers, it comes down. That's what it comes down to. When we can be sure that we can have the right party.
Yes.
That's what it's going to come down to.
Well, it's like, the Facebook friends. I go, you know what? It's so interesting because it's all over the board. But I have Facebook friends, which we both do, that are way on this side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Facebook friends that are way on this side.
I think I might even have a couple of Facebook friends who think the earth is flat. So,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So there we go.
I was like,
there's a topic for discussion. There's one thing to go into the episode description.
It's just, the melting pot that is
earth
Facebook
is round.
Yes.
Unlike Steven Crowder, you cannot change my mind.
You can try. It's just not going to happen.
It's just not.
Yes.
I know a few things.
Yeah.
I know a few things.
And that is
the earth is round.
Things. Yes.
Is one of them.
Well, we got into a conversation the other day because there's a local guy.
Oh man.
That just drives around in
a
truck that has things painted on it.
NASA is a hoax.
What's a hoax?
That's probably how he would spell it. I mean,
it's like...
I mean, do I expect a lot out of a dude who hand paints with what I'm assuming is just house paint on the outside of his truck?
Don't do
things like NASA is a hoax and
the earth is flat.
The earth is flat and you're being lied to.
Yeah.
But he spells "you're" wrong. One of these days, I'm going to find him. I'm going to find the truck when it's not here. I'm just going to take like one of those little shoe polish things and just add a little apostrophe and an E.
With like whiteout to match the white
whoops.
paint. One of those whiteout tape things. Yeah. Just to make
it's worth it for the gag. Yourself. It's worth it for the gag as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. We had gotten into a conversation the other day because he just drives around the courthouse square, which
Plaza.
I don't know what sets me off so much about that, and it's a weird nerve.
Sorry. I know it irritates you when people want to argue about that. I am on team I couldn't care less. Call it the square.
And at the end of the day,
call it the courthouse plaza.
Right.
I don't care.
If it wasn't you and we weren't sitting here having this conversation.
Right.
Say you were one of my clients that just came to town.
Mm-hmm.
I would not correct you. I would not care. Same as with if you said Prescott instead of the pronunciation that we were both raised with historically of Prescott.
Listen, I'm pretty savage, but I'm not an animal.
Yeah. But that's
only animals pronounce it Prescott.
Right. But again, if I'm out...
The type of people who leave their shopping carts in the middle of a parking lot pronounce it Prescott.
I know who you are.
And he does.
He does. He
does both of those things.
No, but it's one of those things I won't really correct. I'm not that kind of Prescottonian that somebody's going to come up and be like, Prescott. And I'm like, well, actually, wait a minute. The correct pronunciation. No, I'll let you go. But after the 10th time that I see you and the 10th time that you pronounce it wrong, I'll jokingly bring it up.
Oh, I'm just going to continue to pronounce things correctly.
Yes. But, somebody's saying...
Eventually, you'll just get it.
Yeah, but the courthouse square, as somebody that was not from here, was like, actually, it's called the plaza. No, not once was it ever referred to as the plaza.
I mean, in official documents, it kind of is.
But
again, if you're from here, you know that it's the square.
Right. So getting off the topic that
Sorry.
No, but
This
flat
earther who drives around the
we
square.
had a nice little conversation at coffee the other morning of going, well, he's not driving around because
driving across.
You were quick to point out my failure of a joke of, should I point out that he's driving around the courthouse? And you're like, well, actually, he's driving in a square. I know.
He's driving across a flat plane.
But nobody's like, well, he's driving squarely around. So you can't even say it like without saying around. But anyways.
There we go.
What flat earthers.
Flat
There's
earthers.
Just some things to argue about. And
Holocaust
some things
deniers.
Just stop it.
People who don't think we landed on the moon.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know. What's new, man? For anybody just listening, that was quite a shrug.
Just Not a lot. Just work.
I heard you had quite a fantastic market update video.
It was good. It had a special guest appearance. It was pretty amazing.
I know. I just hijacked his video, but
no, we did have a new episode of Cruisin' come out on Friday. If you have not checked that out, I'm searching for a time code here.
I've been telling everybody,
in the appropriate place.
Everyone and their brothers and sisters.
If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and click the card now.
It's over there?
It's up here.
Okay. Cool.
Somewhere. No, we did a new episode of Cruisin'. We shot it in a completely different way. Just a whole new concept for the way that we do that particular segment of our show. So we'd really appreciate it if you check that out.
Yeah, we got some other
share it with your friends.
Cool ones coming up.
I shot most of that in 50 millimeter.
Gotcha.
Just saying.
Yes,
it was in 50 millimeter, which I love that little lens.
That was a cool lens. You took a cool picture of it.
It's so much fun to play around with, and it's just a really. I find every excuse possible to use that lens because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, check that video out.
Yeah, and then
we've got some more in the pipeline.
Yes, we got.
I keep getting threatened with some sort of small hooved animal yoga, but it's not happened yet.
It's
gonna.
It's
someday.
happening. No, it's set up. It's just
Oh, that's right. It's gonna be the weekend I'm out of town. Again.
Well, prior to, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alpaca Fest.
Alpaca Fest is coming up, and so we're doing some cool things with local alpaca farm.
Yeah.
But
because
we may or may not be doing alpaca yoga, which
I guess we need to figure that out, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. You've just witnessed as deep as a planning session usually goes for these projects. So congratulations. You get the behind the scenes view this week on the podcast.
Yes. So entertainment basis. Have you finished?
I haven't finished it. I'm about 4 episodes into season 2 at the moment.
Some Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Listen, I have no mercy for people that don't finish that show.
First of all, we won't talk about the number of times we've had to push episodes back because you haven't started a show.
No, I know. I just wanted some
not finishing a show.
I just wanted some reason to say no mercy.
No, and it is such a fun show.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's everything that you want something like that to be. So, if anyone out there is trying to just continue on a story from a classic 80s movie, these guys have set a whole new standard for how that is to be done.
Yeah. Listen, no one asked for this, but I'm certainly glad it's here. And it's been
100%.
I mean, I finished it and I've been stuck thinking about it.
I will say there was one evening that my wife and I stayed up far too late.
Yes.
We may or may not have watched 7 episodes after the kids went to bed. And then
Yes.
realized, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. No, my wife and I had
had
a similar night where we just like, hey, you're in. And then it's like, we got to find out what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm anxious for you to finish it so we can discuss some different things. But season 3 is supposed to be epic.
And I hope it is. And I hope we actually get to see it sometime soon.
Yeah, I think they already filmed it.
It's already done, so it's all in post now?
Yeah, it's
okay.
They finished filming before quarantine.
Okay. Well, that's good.
And so they were kind of going, all right, you know. So
because there have been some devastating.
Yeah.
What a.
It's bad all the way around.
How corny is that? It's devastating. Delays in film releases. Come on. No, they're not devastating, but they are a bummer. You know, so I was watching. As I said it, I was like, "What a moron!"
No, I'm just.
This isn't real life. This is movies. It's not that big of a deal.
It was kind of a bummer.
It was. It is a bummer. So Sony has announced that they are not intending on releasing another movie until theaters are open and can seat full capacity.
That's a bold claim.
So what that means is we've got delays on at least 2 highly anticipated projects, and that is the upcoming, possibly unnamed at this point, Spider-Man 3.
It's something
I can't remember. Yeah, something with home.
Something home.
But
homies.
And also Venom 2.
Yes. Which out of those 2 movies I'm more... Venom was awesome, also, and I've watched it numerous times since we've watched it the first time. But it's just kind of one of those, all right, like, I don't know. I have to get out of my own head of like, I was
excited for it to come out next spring.
Yeah.
And it's looking like that one's going to be pushed back. We're talking at least 2022 at this point. And then another one that got pushed out to the end of 2022 at this point is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay. So
it's supposed to come out again next spring. And now we're looking at a because they're, Marvel, they've got such a stringent release schedule. Like the films have to come out in this order. So every time there's a delay, everything gets pushed back. And so that one I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Because there was a little brief interview with Mr. Hemsworth, about him retiring.
I'm very intrigued
from the MCU for the time being.
Yeah, very intrigued of what they're going to do with that movie. A little disappointed that it's not as Guardians of the Galaxy, because he left with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that could have been so...
It could have been amazing.
It could have been so good. Just Thor 3 as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Now, the director he came out swinging, saying that Love and Thunder is going to put Ragnarok to shame.
Don't do that.
So those are the words of Mr. Waititi himself.
Yeah, because Ragnarok was amazing.
Really good. Yeah.
Like, really, really good. And it was a game changer.
Well, and for the first time, or at least with Marvel, I won't say that about some of the DC properties, but for the first time in Marvel film history, it was a third entry into a single character storyline that didn't suck.
Okay. So, question.
Iron Man 3?
Civil War?
Okay, let me just preface this by, I don't even count that as a single character property. Even though it's got his title on it, there's too much Avenger-y stuff going on.
It's another Avenger movie.
Yeah, it was more of a prequel to Infinity War than it was a standalone Captain America property.
I just wanted to correct you that was Captain America.
Yeah, but it wasn't really.
I still say my favorite is Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, like Civil War was right underneath it.
But to me, that was more of an Avengers property than it was a standalone Captain America film.
Yeah. But those ones were like just epic standalone. The Captain America movies were
right up there.
Yeah.
The first Iron Man will always be, to me, a gold standard that has yet to be truly eclipsed.
Yes.
Mostly because it was such a change.
Oh yeah. Well, it was
that they built upon. And are there better movies in the franchise as a whole? Yes.
Yeah.
But because of what it was, it introduced us to an entirely new style.
When they didn't even have
comic
the plans
book
yet.
Movie making, and
that's
and then
the cool
built
part. Yeah.
An amazing empire out of it.
Out of one movie.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So, everything's put to the side.
Spider-Man 3.
No, I was going to say, kind of getting back to Cobra Kai for a second. Like, the nostalgia.
Yes.
Is, like you said, take notes to anybody that wants to do that. Like my wife was saying, like, I didn't know that I needed or wanted a what happened to them.
Right.
Story. Like that bully from that movie. Like, what are they up to?
Right.
Like what happened to them? And it's just...
Well, so the thing that we brought it up before we even really started watching the show, about this whole theory that Daniel was really the jerk the whole time.
Yeah.
Might not be as crazy of a theory as it seems.
No, one of the cool things is, so this YouTuber or somebody back before this was even a thought or something did a video about how Daniel was really the bully of the whole entire movie.
Yeah, he was the real bad guy.
He was the real bad guy. Johnny wasn't perfect, but he was an anti-hero. He was...
Yeah.
He didn't make the best...
Truly the bad guy, in my perspective, of the entire... Even before any of this, was neither of the kids.
Yeah, they were both flawed.
Yeah.
But it
was the sensei.
But it's... Wow. Beating up a whole bunch of kids. No. Yes.
Both of them did. I mean...
No, Miyagi showed up and just...
started pummeling teenagers,
But, yes, no.
I mean, he didn't smash windows with his fists.
No, but, yes,
And he honked your nose instead of breaking it.
That's true. Yes, but the sensei of Cobra Kai was, like, the real
He was the
villain.
real enemy of the entire...
Yeah, he was the Darth Vader
Yes.
of this world. And so you watch it and you go,
Actually,
okay,
he
cool.
was more Palpatine than Vader.
But whatever.
Sorry. I mean, if we're going to go there, get it right, man. Yeah. If we're going to go there, he's the one pulling the strings. Vader's just following orders.
Yeah. So
Right? Yes. Okay. Continue.
Yes. Anyways. It's like, I'm not pulling on that string because that I'll just...
I was just surprised that you went Vader instead of Palpatine.
It was just a quick...
I get it.
He's the big bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was the bad guy then, and is the bad guy now.
Yeah,
he comes back.
He's still a bad guy.
But
you get some interesting insights into
why they
Johnny's
are the way
childhood.
Yeah,
that obviously were never explained or explored in the first movies.
Yes.
And
as Michael Scott would say, why are you the way you are?
Now we know.
And it's kind of like, hey, well, and it's fascinating, and I'm trying not to say anything, but it's like in another world,
right?
Daniel and Johnny would have been best friends.
I think so. Well, and you see some.
There's a lot of similarities.
There's some glimmers of that.
Yes.
There's some little shadows of that.
Yes.
In this, where you go, you guys weren't that different.
Yeah.
And
some of the best moments are those moments where they're hanging out.
Yeah.
And like
where you kind of feel like, oh, this is they're gonna be friends now.
Right. Yes.
It's yet to happen from what I've seen.
Right. Yeah. It was
because every time then something else happens, know, as it does.
But yeah, there's that little glimmer. But it's kind of a fascinating thing where it's like on each episode, you don't dislike either one of them, and then there's some where you're like, that wasn't cool.
They both have moments in the show where you're just like, you're a real prick, dude.
Yeah. Like, everything will be
can
good.
Can you stop being a prick for 1 minute and just realize that you being a prick is what is ruining your life right now?
Yeah. And, like, I'm just going, all right, we need some Miyagi Kai.
Right.
That's my ending that I've written in my head.
Okay.
Where they're like, hey, you know what? We could be best friends. And
yeah,
we should team up. Fight evil, fight bullies.
Win karate competitions in the valley.
Miyagi Kai. Just saying. That's the story I've written in my head, and it's a fantastic episode.
All right.
Just letting you know.
Could even be like a 3-parter.
Yeah, but it's but it's one of those things where I'm like, take notes to whoever, like, it has all the nostalgia.
And there are parts of all 3, really, of the original Karate Kid movies.
Yes.
That you see, and I know I'm not like some sleuth that's just pointing out these tiny little Easter eggs. They're super obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Yeah.
It's just like, hey, remember this from this movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's a moment that's going to remind you of that.
Hey, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of that. And then one of my... there's a lot of laugh out loud moments.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite bit, and we did it before we even do it, that we even saw the thing, is Johnny's incompetence for technology.
Oh, yeah. The send it to the internet moment is the greatest. I mean, it is so... So as... Again, we'll peel back the curtain here. Licensing music is expensive for the show.
Yes.
Which is why we use license-free music for the show, because it's not expensive. But, you know, he's shooting that. He's having him film that one little commercial. And he's like, put Thunderstruck in the background. And, you know, one of the person shooting is like, I don't think we can afford the rights. And he's like, it's not that expensive. I got the cassette in my car. You know?
And the fact that it's a multi-layered joke at the fact that he has the tape.
Yeah, he's got a cassette tape.
He has a cassette tape
in his Firebird.
Yeah. Yeah, and then send it to the internet.
Send it to the internet.
You don't send things to the internet. Yeah. No, it's a fantastic show that I didn't know that I wanted or needed,
but I'm glad that we have it.
And just the world needs it right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know what?
It's pure, and if I've got one complaint about the entire thing is that I think I mentioned this last week, but it bears repeating. My kids love the movies, but I don't really feel like this is a show that I can watch with them.
No, this is the Riverdale version of... Yeah. You know, what Riverdale is to Archie, this is the grown-up version.
If I've got a complaint about it, it's that. And so I start to go, okay, well, maybe... You know, would it be as good if they pulled out some of the more adult humor, and I think it would have been. Yeah. So it was just unnecessary,
right?
And it was obviously not geared toward today's kids, but yesterday's.
Yeah, it was.
It was geared to us.
Yes, exactly. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, it's not. All right. I think that they could have gone, you know what? This would be the exact same thing if we took out this joke.
Right.
And this comment and stuff like that, it would have been the exact same, which is unfortunate.
50% of the swearing, and it could have been, you know, what would equate to like a TV PG or at best like a TV 14 type of a show, but instead I've got to put in my parental control password to watch it.
Right.
You know, and so
my only other thing is
that's my gripe.
Listen, they went to a Disney Channel casting director, and they went Disney Kid shopping. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the kids from there are from Disney Channel shows.
Okay.
And some of the acting
is a little Disney Channel.
Is a little Disney Channel cheesiness at times.
Yes.
Luckily, it doesn't ever go too far where it's like, oh my God. Like, it's just these little moments and you're like...
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Just gut reaction.
Okay.
Think of the character Robbie.
Okay.
Okay. Who does he look like a very young version of?
I don't know why.
Because the second I saw this kid, I go, that looks like a baby Val Kilmer.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I was just like, whoa, that looks like Val Kilmer as a child.
Yeah, you're just kind of going,
he's got that face. And
listen, all the kids do great. That's one character that I'm like, listen, you could have recasted that one.
Right.
Like, it was, but it's fine. It's not anything I'm complaining. But they literally, like, my kids saw, like, just pictures of different actors that were in this, and they're like, that's from this Disney Channel show. That kid was from
the only one that I recognized right out of the gate. She came in season 2, and she was in and I recognized her, and it actually took me a second. Like, my eyes had to like unfocus and focus because the girl's older now than she was when she was in the show that my kids used to watch on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I think that Jesse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, the kid that plays Robbie was in. He was in a couple different Disney, but he was on like Fuller House, and like they just shopped. The kid that plays Hawk, which is weirdly one of my favorite.
My actual favorite kid character in the show is Hawk.
Well, just because it's a train wreck.
Right.
Like, it's a train wreck, and you're just going, oh, like you're just gritting your teeth the whole entire time. But he was the lead character in Kirby Buckets, which was a Disney Channel show.
Okay.
Like, so they're all just picked, and you're just going, okay, cool, it's good. But there's those moments where it's like, oh, that was some.
Well, that was mostly, you got to remember, this was originally it was one of YouTube's first forays into a scripted series. Mm-hmm. And they probably didn't have the budget. Yeah. And so they needed people that knew what they were kind of doing, but probably weren't going to cost that much.
Right, and they didn't do bad. It's just, like, I have no complaints. It's just kind of every once in a while you just go, all right.
I'm going to say Ralph Macchio is looking good for somebody who's pushing 60 years old.
Dude. I saw an interview with him.
He is still a baby face. Yeah. I mean, so
he pulls
props
off
to him for clean living and vitamin pills, man. Like he did life right after being a child star.
But I mean, when he made the first one when he was like 23.
Yeah, he was old in that.
But he looked 15.
Well, he was playing like a 15 or 16 year old.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, all of them were older, but I'm a huge fan of the show. I'm gonna go back and watch them all again, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, you got to keep me posted when you get done, because
it is really, really great. It's a reason to have a Netflix account right now.
I'm going to say this now because then we're going to have this conversation once you finish. But we have epic Marvel hallway fight scenes.
Okay.
Right? Like Daredevil, Punisher, they do these things. I want you to keep that in mind as you finish season 2, and we'll discuss.
Okay.
Okay? Because that's just have that little nugget in the back of your head.
I'll do my homework.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to watch those ones, but just keep in mind that the hallway scenes. So, anyways,
speaking
Cobra
of
Kai.
Yes, blah, blah, blah. It's good. You should watch it.
Yes.
There. Oh, what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Oh, I know what it was. There was the wokeness has strucken again. Strucken. Right. That's right.
That's how much wokeness is happening.
It's so stupid that it makes me lose all concept of proper grammar.
Fair enough.
The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
Nope.
Has proven that they don't give a rip about actual art when it comes to movies. They have decided that now there are inclusion criteria in which a film must possess in order to be considered as a Best Picture nomination. What a joke.
Yes. Well, my biggest thing with it is there is certain directors out there that have specific types of movies.
Right. Like Tyler Perry.
I was trying to say it without saying it.
Nope.
But yeah. Which I've never just been like, listen, racism is bad. Okay.
Yeah,
like
100%. It's real bad.
And that's on both sides, all sides of it.
Yes.
Like I'm not trying to sugarcoat this.
If you don't like somebody because of the color of their skin, you're a bad person.
Yes.
That's it.
That's period. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm waiting for a Tyler Perry movie, for example, to be nominated for that and it not be both ways. Like, it's just...
Listen, I don't like Tyler Perry movies because he's black, but because they're just not that funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry movies.
Listen,
because at least from my sense of humor, they're just not that good.
I'm about to throw down the gauntlet on why I don't like Tyler Perry.
Okay, go.
It's Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah. It's the clumps.
No, he literally took the Ernest character.
Yes.
And what...
And now it's Medea.
Jim Varney.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
Yeah. R.I.P. What Jim Varney did, Tyler Perry took that. With like the Medea character and stuff like that. Remember Ernest Goes to Jail? Mm-hmm. Remember Medea Goes to Jail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it frustrates.
It's unoriginal.
No.
And it's just, again, for me, it's not funny.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the color of anyone in that picture's skin. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with it. I just don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's okay to not think that things are funny.
Yeah, but it's just one of those, like, who won?
Because it's going all the way into, it's not just the actors and actresses that this requirement is touching. It's all the way down to the cast and crew.
Right.
You know, so
there has to be.
So yet again, we're in this situation where it doesn't matter who's best for the job. It's making sure that there is certain colors.
That you're a contender.
Yeah.
That's what studios are going to be doing and going, well, you know what? This person was...
Remember when Titanic was nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah. Remember when...
Not in 2024.
No.
Which is when this rule goes into effect.
Not Contagion.
Contagion?
Parasite.
Parasite, yeah.
Parasite, which was an Asian film.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that wouldn't have?
No, and this is why it's... Because as long as... Listen, you can have 0 white people on the cast or the crew.
Right.
And still be nominated.
Okay.
You just can't have too many white people on the cast or crew.
Right. It can't be.
Or else you won't be nominated, even if it is in fact the best movie.
Am I the only one that's like, that's just racism across the board? Like,
no,
either side
you're not.
Of it.
You're not the only one. Because I'm right there with you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Soapbox.
Yeah.
Off the table. Close the jar.
So, you know what the cool thing about our little setup is? We can't get canceled.
I know. That's pretty true.
We can't get canceled because guess what? Self-funded, self-produced.
I know.
What are you going to do to us? You going to kick us off the air? Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about it not that long ago because I let my son watch Wayne's World.
Right.
Right? And it was like they were ahead of the game. They had like a little channel before.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be the perfect people
public access was the precursor to YouTube.
Yes, that would have been us back in the day.
Listen, if there was still public access, I would love to do a public access TV show.
Bring Tucker and the Beard to public access.
I'd do it. Between two ferns.
How many complaints would there be?
Hey, we are 100% FCC compliant by our own standards.
This is true.
So there.
This is true.
We made that a point for ourselves.
From the get-go.
So that the government didn't have to. Why? Because people are actually capable of self-governing. Okay. You can put me back in the jar. Don't open that jar. That jar makes more ridiculous things come out, I think.
Yes.
Not more ridiculous. It just makes me not care even more.
Yeah, I was just trying to. The first thing that I could find that I could actually
had a win on. I was like, let's not open. First of all, it's morning.
The funny thing is for anybody that's paid attention, there has been zero
level change in this
level
bottle.
change. I have no. We have not.
Well, we're here during.
That's the first time that was opened.
Here's the thing: we are here during the day, which is to work, which contrary to what you might believe if you watched the show Mad Men, we aren't just sitting around smoking cigars and drinking all day.
Right.
So, yes, because this is our daytime place, this bottle is largely decorative, and it was given to us by a friend. No, somebody we helped out with a tech issue gave us that as a thank you.
But yes, we routinely have a thing where people like to give us.
Yeah. People think we drink more than we drink.
And we don't.
No.
But yeah,
it's another fun behind the scenes fact. Today's it's since we're on part 3 of
pulling the curtain.
Yeah, since we're on part 3 of episode 99, we're just gonna really start giving you guys the inside baseball look at everything.
Next week it's gonna be me laying on a couch and you just discussing, and just me owning my issues.
By the time we get to episode 100,
there's gonna be nothing left.
No, we'll just podcast over the phone. It'll just be recordings of us talking on the phone. Bonus points if you do it in your pajamas, in your bed, circa 1992 sitcom style. Where all teenager people just laid in bed talking to their friends on the phone. With the cord.
House phone.
We don't need cords. We got.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We can curl the headphone things. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. You're starting to ramble.
We do.
It's time to go. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Just
stay tuned.
Yeah. Don't be jerks to people.
Yeah. Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. And until next time, he's Tucker.
He's Beard.
And we're out.